What is Armageddon? Revelation 16:16-21, Armageddon is a place as mentioned in the Bible such as this earth, not a war with beings fighting. The word Armageddon only mentioned once in the Bible and it referred to a place, Revelation 16:16, and they gathered them together to the place called in Hebrew, Armageddon. Armageddon is after Jesus' 1,000 years rule when all sins are decided upon, Revelation 16:16-21, and they gathered them together to the place called in Hebrew Armageddon. Yes, a place. How will the great day of God or Armageddon be administrated? Verse 17. Then the seventh angel poured out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the temple of heaven, from the throne, saying, It is done. Verse 18. And there were noises and thunder and lightning, and there was a great earthquake, such a mighty and great earthquake as had not occurred since men were on the earth. Verse 19. Now the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon was remembered before God, to give her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Verse 20. Then every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. Verse 21. And great hail from heaven fell upon men, each hailstone about the weight of a talent. The above is what God called Armageddon, after the 1,000 years rule when all sins are decided upon. Revelation 20 verse 7. Now when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison. Verse 8. And will go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle. Notice what will use to fight. Fire will be used, whose number is as the sand of the sea. Verse 9. They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. Yes, no one fighting a physical war or any one fighting. God with his angels will uses the elements, fire, earthquakes, noise, as fighting weapon, not beings or angels fighting. Who or what nation or nations can fight against God and his angels that cannot die? God will not be using any angels to fight. God will only uses the elements, at Armageddon, but the destruction of this earth where sinful mankind and Satan live. Example of the past destruction of those wicked in the past. Let's look at some examples how God accomplishing his wars of destruction on the wicked ones. The first example is the flood in Noah's day, Pharaoh. 2. The 10 plagues on the powerful King Pharaoh to release the Israelite from Egypt. No one that gains salvation in the new heaven and earth or the kingdom of the heaven will have any visual or physical contact, as to what will be happening at Armageddon or the destruction of this earth, Revelation 16 verses 16-21 and Revelation 7, as they will be enjoying the fulfillment of Isaiah 66 verse 22, 2 Peter 3 verse 13, Revelation 21 verse 1. New heaven and new earth far away from that event. It is the destruction of this earth. This earth will be erased, including all memories of all wickedness that happened on it, not a war. Revelation 21:1. Now I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. The war that Jesus is now fighting is not Armageddon. The war that Jesus is fighting today is with his word, the Bible, which is happening today. Revelation 19 verses 11-21 is not talking about Armageddon. It is talking about what happening now and leading up to Jesus coming, as the word of God being preaches to the nations. Revelation 14 verse 6. Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people. Revelation 19 verses 13. His name is called the Word of God. Verse 14. And the armies in heaven, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on white horses. 15. Now out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, which is Jesus' words, the Bible. Open for comments. Share. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.